preparation for the upcoming biopic Goodbye Christopher Robin, which is apparently the story about A.A. Milne, the guy who created Winnie the Pooh. So I figured this would be a really good time to review the theatrically released Winnie the Pooh movies, starting with the first theatrically released Winnie the Pooh movie, The Many Adventures of Winnie the Pooh. Now, before I go on with the review, if you don't know this already, I am a huge fan of Winnie the Pooh. I think he's one of the greatest characters of all time. He's so innocent, but yet his unintelligence leads to really funny situations. I mean, he's such a really good character. These movies are also really safe for kids to watch. Some are better than others, and some of them have really deep themes and meanings in them, and I'll go into those later in this review for this movie and some of the other Winnie the Pooh movies once I do those reviews. But Winnie the Pooh is one of those characters who stands the test of time. No matter what decade or even really century you're in, you can always relate to Winnie the Pooh or just enjoy the ride, and I just love that about Winnie the Pooh. And so this movie's pretty interesting because this is in fact not really a movie per se. Technically it is a movie because it was released in theaters, but this is actually a bunch of Winnie the Pooh shorts that were stitched together to make a movie. I'll go into more of what I think about that later, but overall I do think this is a really good movie. I really liked The Many Adventures of Winnie the Pooh. This movie I think has maybe about 4 or 5 little short stories. All of them are very charming, and have, some funny moments and quirkiness. And all the characters are very likable. And speaking of characters, one character I always forget is even in the Winnie the Pooh universe is Gopher. I think that's his name, Gopher? I don't know. But seriously, when was the last time you remembered Gopher? Yeah, Gopher. He's in the movie. But you never really see him anywhere else in later movies. So, it's probably not a flaw, it's just, I don't know, he's like that one character you always forget is in this universe, or at least this movie, because besides this movie and maybe the TV show, I don't think he's appeared in anything else. He wasn't in the Tigger movie, he wasn't in Piglet's Big Movie, I don't think he's in Pooh's Heffalump movie, and I don't remember him in the 2011 Winnie the Pooh movie, so yeah, I guess he's just in this movie and some of the shows. One thing I love about this movie is the music that was written by the Sherman Brothers. These songs are really good. You have the Winnie the Pooh theme song, which is very iconic, the Tigger theme song, but probably my favorite song in the movie is one that gets overlooked a lot, and it's the song Heffalumps and Woozles. A heffalumper woozle is very confusal. A heffalumper woozle's very sly, 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 sly. They come in ones and twosles, but if they so choosles, before your eyes you'll see them multiply, ply, ply, ply. But whatever the case, the Sherman Brothers are fantastic at what they do when it comes to music, especially with Winnie the Pooh. But if I were going to say my biggest problem with the movie, it's that, what I mentioned earlier, it's a bunch of Winnie the Pooh shorts stitched together in a movie. While I was watching it, I was like, this isn't really flowing like a movie, it just seems like a bunch of random events that are happening. Here's an example of the weird continuity in this movie. In one of the shorts, Winnie the Pooh and Tigger first meet. This is the first time they've met. I don't know if it's the next story or maybe the next story after that, but whatever the case, you see Tigger and Pooh with each other again, and they feel like they've been buddies for years. See, that's what I'm talking about. That's my main problem with the movie. There's no real structure between the actual individual stories. It just feels like a bunch of random events. And yeah, other Winnie the Pooh movies have done this too, like Piglet's Big Movie and the 2011 Winnie the Pooh movie. But those movies still had an overarching story. There was still a coherent narrative throughout those movies. This one, there really is no narrative. It's just a bunch of random events happening, and they just don't really flow together naturally because this wasn't supposed to be a movie. And that's something I will say, this really shouldn't have been stitched together as a movie. They should have come up with their own story and so it could have a good flowing narrative that would suit a film. But that's not the case here. It doesn't make the movie bad. This movie is nowhere near bad. Like I said, I do think it's really good. It just doesn't get that great level for me because, again, it's the little segments are kind of clumsy when it comes to stitching them together. But one of my favorite parts in this movie, in fact, it might actually be my favorite part, is where Christopher Robin is just having a conversation with Pooh. And the more they go on with the conversation, the more you start to realize what could happen, or actually, no, inevitably will happen. It's actually kind of sad, and it really does tug on your heartstrings. Or at least it did for me. I don't know how it's going to do that for you. But it was a dose of harsh reality, and I really like that. I love it whenever kids' movies have moments of harsh realities that just settle in. And luckily the next movie in this franchise, the Tigger movie, is going to take that into even deeper levels. So like I said, I really liked Winnie the Pooh. It's charming. The ending especially is great. Like I said before, it really doesn't, the stories don't really interconnect in a film narrative as I would like it to do. But in any case, I'm going to give The Many Adventures of Winnie the Pooh an 8 out of 10. Hopefully, if the internet chooses to be nice to me, my next review should be for the Tigger movie. I really have been waiting a long time to review that movie. Such a long time. But in any case, what did you think of The Many Adventures of Winnie the Pooh? What do you think of Winnie the Pooh as a character in general? Let me know down in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching. Give this video a like. Share the video so we can get the channel circulated. And if you want to see more, click this. Oh, bother.